5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglash for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today, as usual, so let's get over here. And it's a nice commercial, I think. I think it's a nice one. Let's go with it.
This is nothing new. Throughout our history, anytime something bad has happened to us,
A lot of bad.
we've recovered. Every time.
Every time we're recovered.
We fall, we rise. We break, we rebuild. We stumble, we learn. We come together, we work together. We innovate and create. We meet up and get to work. We find our way forward every time. This has been the key to our survival, the key to our growth.
Yeah.
That whenever we thought we were at our weakest, this is when we became the strongest, became the best version of ourselves, and found our way home together. Massimo, together in hospital, together at home.
And there you go. Isn't that nice? Okay. So let's go on. And I give up a minute to warm you up a little bit. And that's the truth. It's time to fight. It's time to get it put back together. No matter what anybody thinks. This is the greatest country in the world. So, now let's talk about the puzzle of pandemic productivity. There's a mouthful for you. And I didn't know this, but apparently the Isaac Newton invented calculus during a pandemic, or a plague, I guess. Now, also to be fair, the plague lasted like 60 years in England. The bubonic plague kept coming back and coming back and coming back because they didn't really know why it was happening, and they had to deal with the rats and other issues. And it was really, 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 really bad. Okay? Not like now. Now, it's not bad. And Scott Adams had a wonderful show this morning where he talked about how no matter how bad you think this is, I remember in the 60s, the race riots, and I remember marching with Father Grappi in Milwaukee and having the marchers come march all the way to Madison and demonstrate. Now, they didn't do the same level of destruction, and I give them credit for that. I don't know if they accomplished what they were after either. I can't say. But I do remember playing pool in the basement with a couple of black guys and them smoking cigarettes. And, it was a lot of fun. They stayed in our trailer in the backyard. But anyway, so the remote work is here to stay. Got off track on pandemics. And we're going to overcome this. And Twitter and Facebook are embracing it permanently. Of course, we don't know how long those guys are going to be around. We just don't know. I thought it was so funny. One time I read an article and they asked, will there ever be an alternative to Google? And I thought, sure, just try searching with it. I remember Lycos, and I remember Dogpile, and a lot of the search engines that we started with, they worked for a while until people got used to optimizing for repeat number of words in the metadata and all kinds of dumb stuff like that. And finally, Google figured out, and this was the key to Google, they figured out that we should look at how many people reference a site, right? I kind of think that might make sense on like LinkedIn. The more people that reference your content, the more power they give you. Not just number of followers, not just connections. More likes, more stuff. And they're kind of doing that, I guess. But the bottom line is that Google flipped the lens upside down. Now, there's going to be other business models. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes along. So anyway, CEOs of companies including Chegg, Cisco, and Microsoft have actually observed a productivity bump. But remote work can erode any semblance of work-life balance. Now, I can say as a consultant that my balance has never been good on this. I work on vacation. I work, except when we went to Italy for 3 weeks, because it's like a third world country and you can't get any internet, and the pizza is no good, I can tell you. If you're in love with Italy, don't go. Go to Chicago. Have fun. Have real pizza. Anyway, 48% of respondents, this is from 1,000 respondents or something, 48% respondents reported adopting a slower pace. 51% allowed them to broaden their definition of productivity to include learning new skills, like we're doing. Okay, so I just wanted you to know that. I think I might have covered this article before, but you need to hear it again. Okay, so this was an interesting article. Twitter defeats Devon Nunez lawsuit over a parody account. Now, all I can say is I don't know the circumstances, but apparently Devon Nunez, there's Devon Nunez's cow. Okay, so here's the cow, and this is an obvious parody account, right? It's not Devon Nunez, it's his cow, and they make fun of Devon Nunez, which is okay. You know, it's a free country. You know, that's what we always said. We always thought that. And so Devon apparently didn't like what they were doing and sued Twitter to get rid of him. And apparently the judge says, no, they can have their fun if they want to, because they're obviously a parody account. I regularly laugh at the Babylon Bee, but I also laughed at Carpe Dunctum, who just got permanently banned by Twitter. Obvious parody, obvious jokes. To me, they're obvious, not to Twitter. So he got dumped forever. They said it was a copyright violation, but actually, when you make fun of stuff, you get a pass in copyright law. It's an interesting loophole, I've always thought, but that's why Spaceballs is about the only Star Wars parody that's ever happened, because it could. Star Wars has basically redefined the copyright laws, the whole Star Wars empire, extended the copyright protection for 70 years from whenever they stop producing anything or something. It goes on forever, basically. They've perpetuated the empire, and Spielberg and company will be the richest people ever, perhaps. So anyway, now we go into the Facebook trust deficit. Zuckerberg concedes that there's a trust deficit. There's a whole movement to get rid of or to stop advertising on Facebook. And from, NAACP and a bunch of people that seem to be legit. And it's clearly worrying Mark Zuckerberg and his senior executives, right? Not that much. But what's interesting is they're calling for less free speech. They're calling for more censorship. That's what they want. They want more censorship. Now, they can call out hate, but that's not hate. That's the other side. So I don't know how this is all going to shake out, but it is interesting that both sides are mad. That's how much I can say. Both sides are mad. Okay, here's a good article by Laura Russell, and it's about how retailers can make the most of their data. And we've done a case study just Tuesday. I highly encourage you to get on Periscope or Facebook or YouTube and check out my webinar that I did on Tuesday about how to make money with data, how to thrive in chaos. And I thought it went pretty well. But U.S. households have 11 connected devices, and consumers consistently engage with multiple test points before making a purchase. What that tells me is, and she doesn't come out and say this because I think she's kind of a digital fan, but that means it's almost impossible to tell what's going on. Over and over, her examples reinforce my position that, one, consumers don't know what's going on because they have so many touch points and so many devices. And two, even if they did know, and they could tell you, which they can't, you can't figure it out because the patterns are unique to each consumer. They're not even replicatable between my own behavior. One time I might see something on Facebook. One time I might see something on Instagram. I saw this knee brace on Instagram. I thought it was pretty cool. I haven't seen it since. That was months ago. If I see it again, I might think about it. I didn't know how to order from Instagram because I'm an oldie. And I don't know if I want to order it. And it didn't say the price, and I didn't want to click on it because I didn't want to leave Instagram because I was having too much fun. So all of those things come into play, and you don't know what's going on in my head, and neither do I. Nobody does. That's the way it is. Okay? So Laura says, first step is evaluate your systems because you might be burdened by legacies and all this other stuff. I would say that's not where you start because you can take your data and just suck it out and give it to somebody to look at. And if you ask, what data am I missing? The answer is almost all the data. If you had all the data in the universe right now, you'd be missing what you didn't have when you started your business and how your customers and your business evolved. And you're not going to get it because you didn't know what you were looking for back then and you still don't. So how am I establishing a single customer journey? Good question. Laura, if you can tell me how to do that, simple words, not these big digital marketing words. Simple words. How do we know your customer journey? And if it's a single customer, how do we know it's replicatable? Because you said later in the article that maybe 60% are like June. June's the typical consumer. I'm not sure June is like June. I think if you found one customer journey of June, her next one might be different. Probably would be. Especially with 11 touch points. She's going to use a different device next time. She's not going to know how she gets triggered into buying. So to integrate or eliminate all of them, let's evaluate our systems and build a strong foundation. What is a strong foundation if you got 11 devices? Which device is primary? The one you have turned on the longest? That's probably your phone. The one you're in front of the most? Might be your personal computer at home. The one you shop on the most? That might be just to place orders. Spend the most money? How about the physical address? Nobody thinks about the physical address. Okay, she does say that's the foundation. Develop a testing strategy to understand the various channels working together. But she also admits that attribution is a mess right down here. This is all about attribution. How it's a huge, terrible mess that you can't figure out. How about holdout testing? Let's stop a channel and see if there's any impact whatsoever. Oh, that's too dangerous. That gets away from the omni-channel mix that we're playing with. Okay? Oh, brother. We've seen affiliate spend overstated by 30%. That's a lot. I've seen it way bit worse than that. I've seen where they don't even track the profitability of the affiliate network. Yep. And then lastly, you can use artificial intelligence and or machine learning. Yeah? How are you going to do that? How do you get a labeled data set? How do you get a labeled data set, Laura? And for that, you want to watch my show. You want to watch, I'll send you a link. I'll send you a connect, and I'll send you a link to the show, and I want you to think about the labeled data set. Because if the consumer doesn't know their own path, and if they don't verify that you got their path correct, then you have nothing. You're like trying to have a self-driving car figure out what a stoplight looks like while they're going. Can't do it. You got to have those people with the CAPTCHAs telling you what a stoplight looks like in all different settings, in all different weather, in all different light, in all different conditions. Okay? Case studies, nice, not very much content to it, but she said that she used split test to evaluate the hypothesis that device bid modifiers were restricting the performance of paid search campaigns. Excellent point. Excellent point. Be honest, I don't even understand it. But my guess is if I explain to you most of the tests that we've done over the past 30, 40 years, you wouldn't understand them either because they have to do with print and indicias and, inkjet messages and just data and address hygiene and all that. So the conclusion, what if we knew that the retailer also knew? What if we also knew? What if we also knew is the big key? What do we know for sure? Do we know anything for sure? Precious little. And that's the magic of mail. That's the magic of high engagement, where we know where we sent it. We know who got it. We know that they saw it. And we know that they bought or they did not. That's a labeled data set. That is a foundation for AI and machine learning. That can make you money. We've seen it over and over and over for 25 years. And we don't have to get into these nuances of what kind of radio station do they listen to when they're driving in their car? That's nice, but it won't move the needle. It won't grow your business. It won't explode your business. It won't double, triple, quadruple, 5 times, 10 times growth your business. To do that, you need something with engagement. Here we go. When detailed data is available in real time, there is no real time. All data is historical. It's just older or newer data. That's the only thing you got. You got newer data and older data. But when you've got this real-time data, the possibilities to connect with Jane and her peers are endless. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. You find out something for sure. You find out something that works across a vast number of your customers. And then you apply all the stuff that Laura's talking about. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. But first find out what's really going on for sure. All the way to profitability. All the way to downstream profitability, to repeat purchases. Trace it back. See what's really happening. Once you lay that foundation, then you can have your labeled data set. Then you can do your machine learning. Then you can apply it to digital, to the foo-foo world of digital, where you supposedly know everything. But in actual fact, Jane looks different every time she talks to you. Have a great day. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Your friends will think you're smart. Bye-bye.